Hello Pisces, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we'll look at your energy, their energy, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, and especially if you're a cross watcher, just know that this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that is totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Pisces, we're going to start with overall energy with oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress. So let's start, Pisces, with looking at your side of this connection to the person you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. Pisces side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. Fate, sparks. This was very instant. You and this person connected almost instantly, maybe even felt like, it was supposed to happen, maybe even felt like you had known this person before. Maybe there was even a familiarity there, because it feels like, the spark was very instant here. This fate card, it holds a little bit of sadness, and I feel like, because you have this grief and sadness card here. So I don't feel like things unfolded the way that you expected, and I think that a lot of this reading is trying to understand why, because I know what it feels like to feel like you were guided to a moment, to a person, to an experience for a reason, and then it just feeling almost like a betrayal of the universe when things fall apart or when things don't work out the way that you expected. And I think that this is, this reading in particular is about helping you understand the reasoning behind it, the energy behind it, because when we can understand why, it can help us move forward in a way where we create better experiences instead of repeating cycles and patterns. This person's energy toward you, Pisces. I feel like, is there a card turned around? No, I thought I saw one. Okay, we're good. This person's energy toward you, Pisces. What does Pisces need to know about the person that they're dealing with? Energy toward them. Oh. Confusion with trapped. This person both knows what they want, but doesn't know what to do about it. Trapped in a cycle, an experience, something that keeps them from this connection. This confusion here is interesting because I feel like they're not confused. I feel like they know what they want. But I feel like they are second guessing it. I don't know. I want to know more about this for sure, and we'll see more about it when we dive into tarot. But I do feel like with this trapped card, this person is stuck in something like a cycle or something that is blocking them from what it is that they truly do want here. Truth of the connection between Pisces and this person. Grief and sadness with know your worth. I feel like this has overall been a really confusing experience for you, Pisces, because you had so much hope regarding this connection, especially with how things felt right out of the gate. And so I feel like the way that things unfolded is something that probably makes you feel like it's just impossible for you to have the love that you deserve and desire. Like it's just something that isn't meant for you. And I feel like I feel like the importance of this reading is to understand things from a bigger perspective, to see that that isn't true. You are absolutely capable and worthy and deserving of the love that you desire. But a lot of times we do carry cycles that block us from that love. And I feel like there is a cycle taking place in this connection, or that this connection in particular is trying to bring to the surface for you so that you can break out of it and ultimately create that love. But I know from experience how hard it is to believe in that, to know that you can have the love that you deserve when you've just been heartbroken for, so many times, or in such a just challenging way. And I think that, for a lot of people, it's really hard to keep moving forward, believing in love and believing that you're deserving of love when you've been through a lot. So I can certainly understand that, but I do feel that this reading is the purpose of it is trying to help you find some clarity in this so you can break free of the cycle. Overall theme of this reading for Pisces. Someone has unmet needs. That's you, Pisces. I feel like you've gotten so used to not having your needs met in love. It's all an act with never again. This it's all an act card to me means that there's a misrepresentation about how somebody actually feels, meaning that their actions and the way that they're showing up doesn't actually align with their true feelings. This never again card is definitely this indication that there is a cycle that needs to stop, that needs to be broken here. And I feel like, breaking this cycle will help you on the path to having the love that you maybe currently feels very impossible, or that this connection has made you feel as if it's impossible. So I feel like we've got a lot to break down today. So let's see what we've got here. This is for Pisces side of the connection, sparks with fate. Pisces energy toward the person they are dealing with, they're needing to learn the most from right now. The Fool with the Hermit in reverse. This is interesting because it feels like this is less about this connection. There definitely is energy about this connection. So I don't want you to think that this isn't about this connection at all, but more so about your experience in love. Maybe in particular how it appeared in this connection, but I feel like it goes deeper than that. I feel like it expands past this connection into other connections that you've had, and just in general your experience in love, whether that's in romantic relationships or with friendships or whatever the case might be. One more here for Pisces side. Ooh, okay. Fool, Hermit reverse, Five of Cups, Temperance reverse, Ace. This is actually Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, that's upright. Queen of Swords in reverse. I feel like this connection brought you so much sadness, so much grief, so much disappointment. I feel like it provided you with so much hope, and then it just turned around and just, this is heavy. And I think that, it's hard because you're looking for this new beginning in love. I feel like you keep getting to this point where you're feeling very alone, where you feel like no one, truly sees you and values you and loves you in the way that you deserve. And I know that feeling very well. And I know from experience how frustrating it can be. And I feel like you've been hurt so many times, maybe by this person or by other people, that it almost feels like you started to close your heart off. And nobody can blame you for that, right? When we get hurt time and time again, it's easy to start protecting ourselves and to start distancing ourselves from the opportunity altogether, right? If you touch a hot stove enough times, and eventually you're going to be like, I don't want to touch that stove because I don't want to get burned, right? And so nobody, again, can blame you for that. But I feel like there's something about this experience that you're missing, something that Spirit's trying to bring to the surface, something that is pushing you, that is pushing you to acknowledge so that you can have this new beginning in love. And I think that a lot of what is trying to come through is coming through in this connection with this person, because it kind of feels like your connection with this person felt like, oh, same old same. Like, this is just what I'm used to. I'm used to getting disappointed. I'm used to not having my needs met. I'm used to people not showing up for me. I'm used to getting left. I'm used to getting betrayed. It feels like something where it's just like, this is to be expected because this is what I've always experienced or what I'm used to experiencing. And I feel like it's hard too, because you felt this felt different, right? It felt immediate and instant and intense and good and until it didn't. And I think that, again, no one can blame you for feeling the way that you feel, but I do feel like Spirit's trying to offer you a different perspective here. Not in the sense that, you have to have love, because if you truly don't want love, or if you just feel like you would rather be single or whatever, like, that is your choice and that is your prerogative. But if you would like to have the love that you deserve and desire, and you do genuinely want that, please know that it is still available for you and it is still possible for you. And I think that, it's not about, not giving up on a specific person, but it's about not giving up on your ability to be loved, but also understanding the cycle at hand. And so I do feel like, again, Spirit is trying to draw you to that. And I feel like we're going to get some clarity on that as we continue to progress, because you deserve to feel better than this. You absolutely do. And I feel like you do pour a lot into your relationships, into the people around you. And it feels like it doesn't matter. And I know that feeling so well, but it does matter. You do have value. You are genuinely deserving of the love that you desire. But let's look at this person's energy toward you to try to understand what's happening here. Confusion with trapped. This person's energy toward Pisces. That's confusing. Queen of Cups with Ten of Pentacles. Ace of Swords in reverse. Queen of Cups with Ten of Pentacles. The reason I said this is confusing is because this person did genuinely value you. Oh, that's interesting. Lovers in reverse. Two of Swords. Ah. Okay. Because here you are showing up as the Queen of Cups. Now, you could be dealing with another water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, absolutely. But this is definitely still your energy. Okay. So let's break down what happened here. Because this person obviously, showed up in this connection, and they see you as something that is incredibly valuable. And they see you as the Ten of Pentacles. This is, this energy of abundance, this is energy of wish fulfillment. And I feel like that's what I said when I said it's all an act, how this person isn't acting in association with how they really feel. However, there are some other things at play. So they have this Ace of Swords in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, the Two of Swords, and the Three of Swords. This person has a tendency to get really stuck in their head. And deep down, they carry a lot of feelings of being very unlovable and not good enough when it comes to love. This Lovers in reverse is a huge indication of that. And when somebody believes that they are unlovable, when somebody believes that they are not good enough for the love that they desire, and they see something that aligns with what they really want, they're going to sabotage it. Healthy relationships are comprised. What word am I thinking of? Healthy relationships are composed of two people who are doing the work, who are doing the healing, who recognize their wounding, their traumas, and their triggers, and they're showing up to not allow those things to drive their decisions. Because one of the craziest things about humans, and this was something that really interested me when I first heard it, and then also started to recognize how it was true in my own life and in the lives of others, is that we are actually very afraid of the things that we desire. Not consciously, of course, consciously the things that we desire we really want, but subconsciously, when we don't believe we're worthy or deserving or that we are capable of sustaining the things that we want, we are going to sabotage them in some way. We are going to break our own heart and expect failure and create the outcome that we expect before we allow things to develop. And I see this in relationships all of the time. When you have people who don't know how to invest, people who pull away, people who push other people away, sabotage, whatever. It doesn't mean that they don't desire the connection. It doesn't mean that they don't have feelings for the connection. It means that they're being driven by the belief that they're unlovable, unworthy, and incapable of having it. And that is exactly what's happening here. I feel like this person makes decisions that breaks their own heart in this connection, and that ultimately puts you in this position of feeling really let down. Now, the type of people that typically show up in this energy are people who are emotionally unavailable. And emotional unavailability is, in a very, very generic definition, somebody who is incapable at meeting themselves at the depth that you desire them to meet you. So they aren't able to commit. They aren't able to speak vulnerably. They're not able to meet you at the depth in which you wish to be met. And emotionally unavailable people are incredibly common in this world, especially when you're dealing with people who are not on a healing journey, who are not working on themselves, who are not trying to be better. They're going to be driven by that emotional unavailability. And that means that vulnerability and commitment and depth makes them incredibly uncomfortable. So instead of doing what they can to overcome that uncomfortability and to show up anyway, they do what they can to protect them from uncomfortable feelings. So again, self-sabotage or pushing other people away or making unhealthy decisions in relationships. And I think that that's where you need to understand that the people that keep appearing in your life, especially when it comes to the cycle with this person, the way that they're treating you, the way that they're not committing, that they're not choosing you, that they're not showing up, it has nothing to do with you. Meaning that you're worthy and, your worth and your value is not dependent on how somebody shows up in a connection. People do not treat you as they see you. They treat you as they see themselves. People do not show up based on how much they value you. They show up based on how much they value themselves. And this was one of the most valuable lessons that I ever learned because it helped me separate my worth from how people showed up for me. But there is always a mirror. When we keep attracting into our life people who are not capable of loving us well, there is a part of us that believes on some level that we are not worthy and deserving and capable of the love that we desire. So one of the things that is, and also very interesting about human beings, and one of the things that I love about spirituality is its deep connection to psychology. So I try to bring a lot of that forward to help make the messages feel a little bit more grounded, is that we as human beings have a tendency to seek out what is familiar. We seek out what we are used to. We seek out the lack that we are used to. And we don't do this consciously. 95% of our movements, choices, and decisions stem from our subconscious. Only 5% of the way that we interact with our reality is conscious level decision making, which is crazy. That means that the majority of our life is driven by a part of us that we are not consciously aware of. And that 95% that drives our decisions, that's where our fear lives. That's where our doubt lives. That's where our insecurity lives. That's where our trauma lives. That is where we hold beliefs about ourselves, such as, I am unworthy, I am undeserving, and I am incapable of the love that I desire. And if we are not careful, that part of us will drive us into the exact same situation over and over and over again. And I feel like you probably see where I'm going with this, but let me deepen this a little bit more. For a long time, I was in relationships with people who I could not develop a healthy relationship. No matter how hard I tried, I was attracting people who didn't love me the way that I desired, or would push me away or leave me, or whatever the case was. And for a long time, I got so frustrated. And again, I felt like the universe was like, you're not allowed to have love. But after a lot of healing and a lot of understanding how relationships works, and specifically that our relationships are a mirror, I started opening myself up to a different perspective, which was that the people that I was attracting were not a reflection of my worth, but a reflection of what I believed I was worth, a reflection of what I was used to. When we have unhealed wounds, when we have beliefs that we are unlovable, that we're undeserving, and up here you might be like, no, I know I'm lovable, I know I'm deserving. I'm talking about the wounds that we carry, the ways in which we've lacked love to this point, the ways in which we haven't been treated the way that we deserve. When we carry that experience, there's a part of us that's going to believe that that is all we can have. So we are going to be attracted to people that prove those beliefs right. Craziest thing, right? This blew my mind, and I recognized how it was happening. Every single person I attracted into my life made me feel unlovable, made me feel unworthy, made me feel incapable of the love that I desired. And I realized that they weren't reflecting back at me a truth, they were reflecting back at me beliefs that I carried. And when I recognized that, I was able to break the cycle and eventually attract the love that I deserve and desire. One of the things that I realized was that I didn't have a type. I thought I had a type. I didn't have a type. I had a trauma. I had insecurities. I had a cycle. And when we step outside of our experience and we start to look at things from a bigger picture perspective, we recognize that sometimes the people that we're attracting, we're kind of just dating the same person over and over in a different body. Sometimes we literally attract the same cycle with the same person. Either way, it's still a cycle. And on the other side of this cycle, which I want to make it very clear that I am not blaming you for any of this, okay? That 95% of you, that is a product of your experience, meaning the ways that you started to interpret your world from the time you were born. So the way that you were loved or weren't loved as a kid, the way that you were taught that you are not good enough or that your worth is dependent on how much how much other people value you. All of these things that were not your fault at all, right? Because healing it might be your responsibility, but your trauma, that's not your fault. And I think that one of the things that I'm so grateful for and on my experience of attracting the love that I deserve and desire was Spirit sitting me down and showing me that I had more control than I thought. But it was not about the people, that changing the people that I was attracting wasn't about changing how other people viewed me or perceived me. It was about understanding how I kept attracting the same experience over and over again and investing in it while expecting a different result. When we pour ourselves into emotionally unavailable people who are not capable of meeting us where we desire to be met, people who are not capable of choosing us or valuing us or, essentially becoming, the person that we deserve, even though we're willing to become the person that they deserve, there is something going on within us. There is some sort of wound that is driving us in that dynamic. There is some sort of karmic cycle at play that keeps us experiencing the lack of love that we desire. It is not an indication that you can't have it. It's an indication that something needs to be healed. And when we open up the door to that, we allow ourselves the power to break the cycle. It's hard, it's not easy, but recognizing that was one of the most freeing experiences of my life, because then when I got back out there and I started dating again, it was like, oh my gosh, no, I know how this goes. I recognized my cycle in people from the get-go. So instead of investing in it and trying to change the outcome, I said, no, I'm not going down this road again because I know how it ends. I'm not investing in emotionally unavailable people. I'm not here to change my mind about people. I'm not here to prove my worth and my value to others. I'm here to know that I'm worthy, deserving, and capable of what it is that I desire, and to understand that anything that does not see that, does not align with that, and does not treat me in association with how I deserve to be treated is just simply not meant for me. But it's not easy to get there. So I feel like this is about understanding how other people and the way that they treat you and the way that they've treated you to this point, it's not about you. It's not about your worth. It can feel like that when you attract the same experience over and over again, but it's not about your worth. It's not about your value. And it's absolutely with 100% certainty, not about what you aren't capable of having. It's about looking at what is being repeated, looking at the cycle. So I feel like Spirit wants to draw your attention to that to help you, like I started this reading out, break out of it so that you can attract what it is that you deserve and desire. Because here's the thing, Pisces, you don't just deserve somebody who is interested in you or who likes you or who loves you or whatever. You deserve somebody who, of course, does those things, but can also show up for that love, can meet you at the depth, can commit to it, can make you feel chosen, seen, heard, loved, and valued. You don't just deserve somebody who loves you. You deserve somebody who loves you well. And It might be hard to believe that that somebody exists. I know what it's like to feel that way. Trust me, trust me, trust me. But I also can promise you that in this reading, Spirit is making it so obvious that this isn't about the people that you're dealing with, the person that you're dealing with in the instance of this reading. This is about the cycle. So with that being said, I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to dive deeper into this, looking at the deeper purpose and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. You have know your worth with grief and sadness. I'm going to hop on over. Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Pisces, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Pisces.